Hello. Welcome to CanAm round 2 Imola race of season 7. We have, I believe, a full grid for today. Round the 4.9 kilometre circuit, the 19 corners, 8 to the right and 11 to the left. So, after last week's excitement in the season opener, we hope to have more enjoyment going into this race, more battles this time around, with Anime Boy being our winner in Canada, with a fantastic strategy of pitting in lap 3 under the safety car and doing the rest of the race on the hard tyres. So Anime Boy will be looking to build on the momentum that he had from that race. We've got his teammate in the other Ferrari of Logan looking to build on some of a okay race last week. Had a slight mishap towards the end, but has always got time to build up and get back into the string of things in this race. We do have cars currently going out on track for our first qualifying session. So let's go on board with the Mercedes that's currently in the front. That will be Pizza. Let's see how his lap goes for this opening session. What the benchmark is that he will set for every other driver to try and beat. So we've got coming up through turn 1. Got a little bit of traffic ahead of him. The McLaren gets out of the way nicely. Up through turns 2 and 3. Nicely taken. Takes enough of the curb to get through there nicely and cleanly, but still gains enough time to not damage his lap too much. So we've got a 24.8 opening sector there. Up through now into sector 2 with a lovely bit of speed up through the double right hand of 11 and 12, up into 13 now, 14. 51 seconds so far to start this off for everyone else to try and get through. Coming up into the final double left-hander, up into the final corner of 19 to finish this lap, and he will set a benchmark of 17.1. Lovely lap for everyone to try and go for. Nice clean lap from Peter to get round there to fully make every part of the track available for himself to use. We've got Giles in the Williams now in setting a 15.8. Mr. G setting a 16.3. Lovely lap from him there. Matt in the other Mercedes with a 21.1. Matt in the McLaren with 16.6. Nice little time there for the team and for himself. We've got 7 putting in 4th. Right, so we've got the other McLaren who's unfortunately unfortunately invalidated his lap with the Haas behind. Oh, and Fines has unfortunately retired. We've got Thief coming through to finish his lap. He's got a nice bit of toe from the McLaren in front. That will probably help him out perfectly down this main bit of the straight. And he goes just behind his teammate, half a second into 5th. Oh, Ryan tries for another lap. Has 70% battery, plenty of out to get round. Will he have enough fuel though? That is the question. Sets a nice little time for himself, or first sector, shall I say. So Zach is on his way to complete his first flying lap. Where will he put that Williams? He had a little wobble on the exit, but does keep it together. Puts it 13th currently with an 18.3. Has got time to go out and improve again. Possibly could improve after he lost a little bit of time on the exit of 18, but will have 10 more minutes to get in and get back out again. So let's talk about the McLaren driver Ryan. While he's invalidated again, that's unfortunate. So after finishing second in Canada last week, he will want to show everything he's made of for this week. Unfortunately not having the best of qualifying currently, but there is still time to pick his momentum up and build his way through the sessions, through these last moments, or well, these last 10 minutes to try and get a better time, build his way up, but he is currently safe, although plenty of drivers behind him to try and get somewhere and also want to improve their time. But he did finish second last week. He will have that on his side. He will have confidence going into this race even with a slightly poor qualifying. So this is Logan on his way in. We've got Morg in the Red Bull on his way to do a flying lap. Sorry, bear with me. So, on board with Morg on his flying up on his sector 2 currently, coming through 11, 12 and 13, keeps it nice, takes enough the apex. into the final corner, the final proper corner, shall we say, has his overtake on, uses as much energy as his car will give him and puts it into P8. Lovely time there, lovely lap from him. Kept it clean, kept it to the apex, hit every single corner that he possibly could. So we have last week's winner on his outlap at the minute. Let's sit on board in a moment with him and see how he gets going. We have Tin Man on his, towards the end of his flying lap actually. Will he improve this time around? Can he go quicker than the 18.0 that he's currently got? So he does go quicker but stays P15 with a 17.6. On board now with the Ferrari of Anime Boy for his first full flying lap, his first time he's actually been out the pits. He sets a perfect sector 1 of 24.7. Great benchmark at the minute. I've completely missed if he got a purple sector 2, that is my bad. I am so sorry. He's on his way through. Will he go and beat Giles' time of 15.8? Comes around the final little kink of the track and he goes P6 with a 16.5. Not a bad lap from the Ferrari driver. Probably could do very slightly better, but looked a very clean lap from him and possibly has given all he can. So we do have Matt on his second flying lap, or when he's just invalidated on the exit there, just out of turn 15. That's really unfortunate for him. Plenty of time though for him still to go, has his full battery, but doesn't have very much fuel for himself. Could be a little bit costly, but has 5 minutes till these sessions ended for him to be able to get out there and go again. So the Alpine of Ice Water is on his flying, or as unfortunately actually invalidated, but may be going again. He is going again. He is going flat out still down this straight. Is saving a little bit of battery down there, but interesting to see him not pushing fully, but he could well be saving a little bit here. Does set a purple sector 1. That's a very good sector from him there. Or he goes slightly off, doesn't invalidate, manages to somehow keep it within limits. But we go there, we carry on with him. Absolutely pedal to the metal right now for Ice Water. Flying through, has a little wobble on the exit. Has used all his battery. Doesn't open his DRS surprisingly. Not too sure what he's up to now. But we move on to, and Pizza has just gone to P9. What a lap for him there. Right, on board Thief coming through sector 2. Possibly could get caught up, or he's invalidated there, that's unfortunate. So, the second place driver from last week, Ryan, is on another flying lap. Sets a purple sector 2, half a second quicker. That's impressive. Absolutely flying now in this McLaren. Will he go any higher? Can he break into the top 10? Keeps it clean through there. Absolutely floors it out of that corner. Opens the DRS nice and wide. Goes up to P6. Great lap from Ryan. Absolutely brilliant. So we now go to the racing ball of McCoy. On his flying lap, up through turns 9, 10. Keeps it nice and tight through there. Putting everything he can into this. Trying anything he can to get into the top 10. Make himself even more safe than what he could possibly be right now. That's purple sector 2. Absolutely flying. And goes P4. Lovely lap. Brilliant lap. Puts him nice and safe right now. So we have the Ass of Thief just finished his lap. Tin Man's just finished his lap. Got Morg on a flying lap potentially. Nope, not this time around. McCoy is finished his lap. Do have the Ferrari of Logan about to be starting his flying lap. So let's sit on board and see how he goes around, see how he does. Currently in the danger zone, but only a few tenths off safety. Up into turn 1, uses all the energy he possibly can right now. Nice and clean through turns 1 and 2. Keeps it well within track limits there. 3, 4 and 5 are going to be testy, but he does it. Keeps it nice. Is a tenth up on his time with a 24.6 sector 1. Flying through this part of sector 2 now. Absolutely brilliant. Keeps it clean, keeps it on the limit of the car. Not much like many of the other drivers have done through that part of the track. It's 2.5 tenths up, nearly 3 tenths up. Coming towards the end of his lap. Has got enough time to complete it. Not quite. Go again. So Tin Man finishes his. Logan puts himself through and into safety. So in to qualify we have lost 550 back. And I missed the other one, my apologies. See you in a moment. So we lost in this session, we lost 5 Shifty, Zach and Tin Man in the kick. Unfortunate for them drivers. Not too sure what happened to Fives, but the other drivers put in some very good laps. Very unfortunate not to make it quite through. But they do have plenty of laps to make it back up and to make their way as high as they can. So on to qualifying 2, we will see 15 drivers battling out to go through to the final qualifying to get pole. So while we wait for first driver to enter the track, let's have a look at Adam in the Aston Martin. He took pole in Canada. Will be looking to add to his tally again this week. So yes, Adam took pole in Canada. He's going for probably gonna aim for pole again this week. Unfortunately wasn't able to turn pole into a win previously, but was still able to stay in the points and get P7 in Canada after a very tough race. After a very mixed opening 5-6 laps of last week, was very hit and miss, very hit and miss for a few drivers. A few took a few gambles, a couple didn't. The ones that took the gambles paid off. Unfortunately, Adam didn't quite take the gamble. Wasn't to go for him. He boxed a few laps after the safety car. But this week could well be his week. He could play it right and it could go well for him. So he starts his line lap first of Q2. Let's sit on board and see how he does. He sets the purple sector 1 with a 24.4. Lovely opening sector 1 there for him. A Haas moves out of the way. Everyone behind. A few drivers on flying laps right now. Uh, 50.697 so far for this lap for Adam. Aiming perfectly for the all 3 sectors. Beef did set the benchmark of a 16.7. Anime Boy did beat it pretty much straight away. McCoy goes top now with 16 dead. Adam goes 4th with a 16.2. Great opening lap for him. Mr. G 16.3 with nice lap for himself. 7 goes 48.6. I think he may have had a poor opening sector, so he's bailed out pretty early. Has gone straight away for another line lap. rides a little bit of the curb. Does look like he almost drifts around the corner, but keeps it together. That's lovely purple sector. Obviously paid off for him. Oh, and Pizza is out. It looks like he's potentially hit the wall down at the start of Sector 1, at the start of Sector 2. Not too sure what's happened there. So, 7, another purple sector, 30 seconds quicker than his previous lap. Up through these final couple of corners. And will he go top? Oh, he misses out just shy of a 10th, but goes P2 with a nice first proper lap for himself. So we've got Jowser, Oliver, both on out laps. Morg on an out lap currently as well. Oscar about to finish his lap, and he puts the Alpine in 5th. Lovely time there from him. Helps the Alpine team out massively for a fight in this race to try and gain some momentum in this season and get a few more points on the board. So we go to Jowser, who's just started his flying lap. Through turns 1, 2 and 3. Has got a Hash driver ahead of him. Could cause him a little bit of trouble. Sets a new quickest Sector 1. Pushing everything he can from that Williams. Absolutely flying. Taking everything he can from the track. Picking up a little bit of dust from the edge of the track though. Flying through these sectors. Has to look like he blocked up a little bit. It's going to impair the Williams driver's vision through that part of the track for a moment. Not too much though, but enough to make a very slight difference if not careful. And Jowser does go P7 with a 16.2. Had a 1 or 2 little wobbles through that lap, but still enough time for him to go back in and get back out again. So we go to Oliver in the other Alpine, and he goes top. He goes 4 tenths quicker with a 15.6. And that must have all clicked for him in that lap. Absolutely flew round. Done enough to get it so much quicker than McQueen's current time, but still plenty of time for everyone else to gain that and to try and knock Oliver off P1. So, Morg has gone back into the pits. May have had a bit of a dodgy lap there. Looks to have invalidated on the minimap to the right there. So, Logan on another flying lap. We've got Mr. G behind on a out lap. So, keeping it nice and clean all through Sector 2. Gets the power nice and early out of there, enough to improve his time, but still just outside the safety of E10. Still enough time as well to get back in and out to set another flying lap if he needs to. So Mr. G on his flying lap. Flying through the first few corners there. Quite a tough couple of corners to get right. Gets that absolutely perfect. Hits enough of the apex. Taking a hairpin close but tight through the corner. Has backed out slightly now. Probably due to battery, but you never know right now. So Zuck in the McLaren on his out lap. We'll come back to him in a moment when he's on his flying lap. Ryan's on his way to start his in a moment, so Morg on his first full flying lap. Can he get a time in this time? Will he absolutely surprise everyone? Throwing that Red Bull side to side through the tight little left-right corners, not always the best to get through there. Takes it quite nicely up into these quick left-handers, not always the easiest to get right. Neither of these right-handers coming up has a little wobble by the looks of it on the entry of that corner. Does keep it, does follow it through, sets the quickest Sector 2 time. And goes P4. What a lap from Morg in the Red Bull. Has completely thrown everyone off with that by not being able to quite put a lap together in the early stage of this qualifying session, and sticks a brilliant one in just a moment ago. So we go to Jalza on a flying lap. Does have the Alpine behind, but luckily only on an out lap, so can't give him too much of a tow right now. Flying through the difficult right-handers, so it's a pretty decent Sector 2 time. Will it be enough? Oh, and he spins. That's unfortunate. That's really unlucky. Does keep it out of the barrier though, so we can possibly keep on going. Depends how damaged them tyres got from that spin and the slight look up. So, Zuck in the McLaren has unfortunately validated as we went to see his time. Tin Man is on an out lap. We'll see how he goes in a moment. The Ferrari of Anime Boy is currently flying through, trying to improve his time at every moment he can, taking as much back as possible. And 7 does set the quickest time currently with 15.6. 20 milliseconds quicker currently than the Alpine. Anime Boy goes 2 tenths behind with 15.8. And Ryan is currently 4th with 15.9. Very close, top 4 at the minute, 3 tenths separates them. And that is session over for McCoy, Morg, and Beef, who are currently all in the pits. Right, are on flying laps currently. Oliver has just come in. Anime Boy is on an in lap. Ryan is on his way in. Matt has gone wide and unfortunately ruined that lap of his. That's gonna hurt come the end of this session. Oh, that was not actually PSP6 currently. So, we are losing from this session Mr. G, Duck, Beef, Logan and Peter. All of them will be absolutely gutted for that session. All of them put in pretty decent laps for themselves. Very unlucky from all of them though. But again, still plenty of time in the race. Still plenty of laps to be able to make up. So as this qualifying session comes to an end, we will be losing the 5 drivers and 7 has just entered the pits. So take a moment while the drivers get themselves ready for the final qualifying. Right, so as we enter the final part of qualifying, we have 10 drivers left of Ryan, 7, 10-man, Morg, Oliver, Matt, McCoy, Jowser, Anime Boy, and Adam. So, Adam, hitting pole last week, will want to hit it again this week and take his tally for 2 out of 2 for the season. As for Anime Boy, he will have high hopes for this race after winning in Canada. He is going to want to take pole and get the advantage over everyone for the run into turn 1 and 2. So, the Aston Martin Duo, one of which is still in this qualifying session, the other of which unfortunately was knocked out earlier on. So, Ryan sets the quickest Sector 1 currently as it stands on these opening flying laps of this final part. The Haas gets out of the way or has a little spin by the looks of it, possibly. By the looks of it, the Haas has had a spin as he's also invalidated. That's unlucky for him. McCoy sets the benchmark with 16.1. Anime follows up with 15.9. Matt with a 16.3 goes P2. Ryan in the McLaren goes 16.7. So, next across the line will be Adam, but he's gone in. Jowser is going through. Morg has also gone into the pits. Oh, the Alpine of Oliver has validated, but has still got plenty of battery to go, but is going in, possibly ruin them tyres, but we possibly old tyres already. So, Dowser coming up to finish his lap, hasn't got much fuel, will need to do it now. Oh, that is very close to track limits, but he does keep it well within just about and goes P1 with a 15.7, 4 tenths quicker than McCoy in the racing ball. So 7 is on another flying lap. Will he make it round? Does set a quick sector 2 time, is absolutely flying through. Goes slightly wide, has ruined that lap. He will now need to go in and refuel. So, Adam leaves the pit lane again to go on another flying lap to try and do whatever he can in this session. So we got the Alpine and the Red Bull both coming out again with around say 5 minutes this session to go. The Alpine almost pushing the Red Bull along to try and get him to speed up. He has moved out of the way just to not impede too much on the driver behind. So Gauza is going pretty slowly through this final part of the sector. May not help these two drivers who are about to start their fast laps. Does get out of the way just in time for the final couple of corners for them. Question is Morg far enough, is close enough behind to be able to get any toe off the Alpine? By the looks of it, oh, and the Alpine has spun. Oliver has spun, that is unlucky. He could have been on for a very good lap to get himself going. So, Morg coming through these tight right-handers, up through to the end of sector 2, about to go. Oh, has a little wobble there, does keep it together. And goes P4 with a 16.2. Not very far off the other Alpine of Tin Man. So Oliver has gone into the pit, 7 has come out, so has Ryan, Matt and McCoy all left the pits. Sorry, apologies about that. Right, 7, one flying out, sets a purple sector 1. Absolutely doing everything and anything to gain track time and any other time that he can. He needs a good lap here. He needs to go through this cleanly so he doesn't mess up too much. And does go P2 with a 15.9. perfect lap there for him right now. Just what he needed to pretty much finish the session, as he's not going to quite get enough time to get around again. The Mercedes of Matt now goes P1 or provisional pole with a 15.3. Mercedes driver will be happy with that. So, Oliver has just started a flying lap. His teammate is behind him. Adam has also just started a new flying lap to try and get time on the board. Every driver is currently out on track, all trying to do what they can. Only a couple of people that won't really improve now are Seven and Matt in Mercedes, who have just set their fastest times of this session. So, Seven is going to possibly be in the way of the two Alpine drivers. Org has finished his lap. He is done for the session. Brian stays P8, fortunately for him. Galza stays P2. Oliver has had another poor lap for himself, as he's not gonna really enjoyed this final qualifying. Adam does go P9, did possibly get it slightly impeded by the Alpine, but may have just missed it at the same time. So that is qualifying over. We do have a mixed grid here for the Imola Grand Prix. We have Matt, Anime Boy, Gowser as your top 3, McCoy, Sevens, Tin Man, Morg, Ryan, Adam and Oliver rounding off your top 10. So, qualifying is over. On to the race next up for what should be a very interesting race, very exciting race, and a lot of battles heading into it. So, as we enter into this race, we look at some of the teams and some of the drivers. So, Sauber, let's go straight in for them. Currently sit second in the championship with 25 points, and only behind Ferrari, who are on the same points. With last week, Fives getting a nice 10 points in P5, having a very good race here and there, and also their reserve driver picking up the final 15 points and the final podiums last week. But as for Fives, he showed some good pace, showed some good racecraft throughout the race. Will also want to do a bit better this week and try and build some more momentum going into the rest of this. As for his teammate, Ty Puns, he unfortunately missed last week's race, so has some big shoes to fill for this week to try and carry on the momentum that Sauber have picked up already from that first race. We also have McLaren team in third in the constructors, looking strong again with Ryan and Zach in there for their drivers. So Ryan finished second last week. We'll probably want to try and go one better this week and win the race. We'll have a little bit of a tough task ahead of him, going by how many strong drivers have shown themselves in this qualifying today. But did show glimpses last week of some serious pace of himself and McLaren, so could show it again today and want to absolutely smash everything out of the park and get himself round. Not literally, but metaphorically speaking, will want to push on and get through. As for his teammate, he finished just outside the points last week. Zach did. Was unfortunate on a couple of occasions, but also did show some very good moments throughout last week. Will these two drivers have a stronger race? Will they go on to do better for themselves, or even match the result from last week? Again, will be tough for them. Have some very strong drivers ahead of them both, but they could do it, and they could potentially push themselves through up into higher positions in this race and in the standings. So the Alpine team of Oliver and Icewater, they had a bit of a mixed race last week, a bit of as individual performances, both getting in the points, one with the fastest lap from Icewater finishing 10th and absolutely smashing it at the end of that race with that fastest lap on the medium tyres towards the end. Very worn. Did do a 2-stop race. And is also going for... also had a half decent quali today, so should hopefully give himself a bit of confidence into this race to go on, and again push himself to try and get onto that podium, to try and do anything he can to boost the Alpine's chances of moving their way up the constructors. So as we sit and wait for the drivers to sort their strategies out, this could be a mix of a one stop, maybe if the drivers or if any safety cars happen, a 2-stop, but a hard to soft or hard to medium could work for these drivers today. So as we sit here now for the formation lap, we do have Matt leading us away nicely, followed by Anime Boy, Giles and McCoy, 7, Tin Man, Morg, Brian, Adam and Oliver in the top 10. or we are getting suggested a medium to hard or a medium hard for the strategies. They could well go either way for the majority of the drivers. They could do either of those strategies or brave it. So everyone does start on the medium tyres apart from Zach, who starts on the softs. So we do have a bit of a gap forming in this formation lap. Just waiting for fives now to lead the rear of this formation lap, and he's just pulled into his pit box, his starting box, and we are about to have 5 lights, and away we go. Let's do this. Matt gets off to a decent start, a little bit of wheel spin. We are battling down into turn 1. We have Giles and Anime Boy taking it wide and close into turns 1 and 2. Absolutely flying through this first part. Matt has taken a 1.1 second lead already. Right, sorry about that. I needed to turn it down a little bit. I couldn't hear anything. Right, so Matt leads Anime Boy from Jowser from 7. From Adam has got off to a good start, up into P5 right now. So the possible strategies has come up again. We are looking at a 1 or a 2 stop. We have McCoy currently in 7th being... Oh, Adam has boxed. Aston Martin driver of Adam has boxed. Let's see what the issue is there. He's jumped straight onto the hard tyres. And a wing change. That is unfortunate for him. Right, back onto the action. McCoy has already got a time penalty. We do have the top 4 cars here, all within 1.5 seconds. This is going to be a tight lead or a tight battle till the end between these 4 drivers. So as we look further back, we have McCoy in 5th, unfortunately on a time penalty. We do have Ryan sliding around in the background there. Followed by Oliver locking up slightly, but does still keep it well within the track. So Oliver sets the fastest lap time currently in this race after 3 laps. We do have them all battling out for top 5 positions here, 3 seconds now off the top 4. So as we look further down the grid, we are seeing some very, very close battles between a lot of drivers. Zach moving up a few positions, trying to make them soft tyres work, doing everything he can, but doesn't seem to quite have the pace to stay on the back of the Haas driver. Does have the Ferrari all over him though, right now. Mr. G is on the back of the kick of Tin Man. Oh, was there contact there? That looked very close. Right. Might actually be able to hear a little bit better now, so sorry about that. So, Mr. G on chasing his teammate of Morg currently for P9. Morg is also on the back of P8 of McCoy, also doing whatever they can to build themselves, get up through this pack and into some good points positions for most of these drivers. So, 4 laps in, very close battles throughout the whole grid right now. We are seeing some movements here at the top end of the grid. Although Anime Boy has built a 2.5 second gap, I believe these couple of drivers have just got in each other's ways, or a little bit of push and shove. But who knows, it could just be all clean driving from them, and we've just missed it because there's been so many other battles throughout the rest of this race so far, and a couple of little issues. But 7 is currently gaining time on the Ferrari driver, has already cut that gap by 6/10, aiming to try and get as much down as he can before the DRS detection zone, which will be coming up in the next few corners. So he does trail the Ferrari of 1.6 seconds so far. Jowser is 6/10 behind with Matt in the Mercedes, just under a second. So this top 4 are very close at the minute. A couple of drivers dropping off now, but could still do something within this race. Unfortunately, Matt wasn't able to get the DRS, but 7 and Jowser have got a good battle going on here for P2 and P3. Do have the Alpine of Tin Man losing a couple of positions here, possibly had a wobble at some point throughout the hairpin. So, all very close battles throughout this P8 to P10. We then have close battles for 11th right now as well between 3 drivers. And we do have a battle over here for P2, but 7 has just dropped off, but will get the DRS to try and close that gap again. It's pretty quick in a straight line right now, isn't pushing too much though. Has gained a few attempts on the Williams driver to try and get somewhere, not quite enough to gain. So as and 7 does make the move on the outside of the hairpin. Oh, and Chowder spins. That's unfortunate for him. Has gone into the wall, has lost his front wing, so we will have a yellow flag in that part of the track. That was unfortunate for him, just a little bit too much on the power on the exit of the corner. So that does leave 7 and Anime Boy now free to crack on with their own race, and potentially leaves 7 to close that gap without having to do too much, if not any defending. But Oliver in the Alpine closing the gap for P3. Misses out on the DRS by a couple of attempts, unfortunately. Gained it a little bit too late round before the detection zone. Is keeping within the second though so far with this first part of the lap. Can he do it throughout the rest of the lap? We'll stay on board, see how quick he can close, see if he can gain any more time before the DRS zone down that main straight. It is currently down to 4 attempts. We are seeing plenty of penalties coming in now, quite early in this race. Fair few track limit warnings, fair few track limit penalties coming through, and possibly going to change a lot of this outcome of the race. But Oliver has got the DRS on Matt. Will he make it work down this straight? It's quite a long DRS zone. As we come through turn 1, he is ahead and makes it through the corner, makes it stick well and truly before and Sorry about that, needed to go get a drink and didn't have one on me. So, as we come into lap 10, we did have a virtual safety car. Not too sure what happened, unfortunately, but there does look as if no one's... Right, so under that virtual safety car, a fair few drivers did box and has changed the order of this race currently. Anime Boy still leads, but far by 5 seconds. Oliveira up to P2 currently, followed by Morg, McCoy, Pizza up in the top 5. So 7 Matt, Tin Man, Thief, the kick driver, Tin Man, Jowser, Mr. G, Adam, Ryan, and Zach have all boxed so far. Zach has made 2 stops. And as we look at the position changes, we do see 5s up 11 from the back of the grid into 8th. Matt has dropped 10 places. Giles has currently dropped 12 and Ryan has currently dropped 10, but this is all provisionally where they are due to plenty of drivers not boxing just yet. So McCoy hasn't actually changed places yet. He's currently still where he is, where he started. He's having a good race so far. Possibly dropped once or twice at the start, but does look to be bringing it back right now. We have Zuck and Logan up 7 and 8 places respectively, having had decent races for themselves right now. Still plenty of time for them to make their way up the grid even more or defend their current positions from drivers behind. So 7 has boxed again, possibly for the medium tyre. Potentially going long on that stint or even taking it to the end. Be very surprising if he does take it to the end, but very impressive at the same time. We did have the racing ball of Shifty going slowly at one point and possibly going wide on the exit of the chicane. But making it back. Plenty of drivers now boxing as well. So we do see Duck, Pizza, Logan and Fives all going in, possibly for their planned pit stop lap time, or maybe slightly adjusted depending because of how the race is currently planned out. So Matt making his way back up the field, trying to get back into this top 3 positions that he was in. So as we enter the halfway point of this race, we look at everyone's current penalties with the Alpine of Tin Man with 19 seconds, currently the most of any driver. And then we have Morg, Zuck, 7, Logan and 5s all on 3 seconds. Pizza, the kick of Tin Man, McCoy, Thief all on 6, and Mr. G, Brian, both on 9 seconds of penalties going into the second half of this race. Mr. G does then get a further 3-second penalty for going slightly wide on that corner, trying to get past Tin Man for P8. We are currently on board Mr. G, looking at these final 3 points positions, going with Jowser in 10th, Mr. G in 9th, and Tin Man in 8th, currently on the and Tin Man has just lost 2 positions down that main straight. That's going to be unlucky for him. Going to be slightly costly as well, because he didn't have the DRS, but these 2 are slowly pulling away, but does... Oh, sorry, Mr. G is slowly pulling away from Tin Man and Jowser. Tin Man does get back past on the inside of that, inside the exit of the corner, fighting out and out for the last 2 points positions of this race in these last 14 laps. As we go back towards the top of the grid, we do see Matt looking for the top 2, aiming to get past the Alpine driver, trying to get it done on track instead of through the penalties that he has. So we are seeing a 4-way battle currently for these top for these top final two podium positions for between Tin Man, Matt, Oliver and Morg in the Red Bull currently P5. Potentially for Matt and Oliver, this is going to be perfect for them two guys over the other two due to them not having any penalties, and they have both got past the Alpine driver, so they are now second and third respectively for them two. Oliver is going to be happy he's got past his teammate. He can now help him get along and possibly pull away from the Red Bull driver of Morg, but he is past the Alpine. Tin Man needs to stay with this group now and put away, try and make a big enough gap so that 19-second penalty doesn't affect him too much right now. So he does have the racing ball of McCoy 2 seconds behind him, but does have 6 seconds of penalties. Can the Alpine of Tin Man get the big enough gap so it doesn't affect him? Only he can hope. So as we look further down the grid, it is starting to open up a little bit now between this middle part of the grid. Is starting to open up, starting to slowly build gaps between themselves and the rest of the race. But we do have the two McLarens quite close, only 7/10 between them at the minute. Zuck is also now on the back of the Sauber driver Tin Man. Ryan has a little wobble coming through that double left hand. It does cost him a little bit of time. Possibly has the pace to gain it back for the detection zone coming up. McCoy has made it past Tin Man in the... Oh, there's been a few drops for him there. He has boxed, serving his 10 seconds penalty. Mr. G now has 15 seconds, does make it past. Bit far away off Thief, but does potentially have enough pace to get far enough away from everyone else behind him at the minute. We do have a yellow flag. It is... Who is that? It is the Williams of Jowder. He has not had a very good race right now. Unfortunately being lapped now as well. 52 seconds behind Shifty. He was up there at the start of the race. It hadn't quite gone to plan for him in the second half of it. Morg makes it into the top 3. We do see a change between the two drivers here. Matt is slowly starting to lose a lot of pace in them tyres. So Morg on the back of Oliver now, aiming to try and get into P2, try and build a 6-second gap between himself and the Red Bull, no, and the Alpine, sorry. We do have 5 in the pit lane currently changing tyre, it possibly going for the set of, what has he gone for? A set of mediums he's put on for the final 6 laps. It is. He has put a set of mediums on for these final few laps. The McLaren of Ryan has put fresh mediums on as well for these final few laps. Same with the Alpine of Tin Man as well, putting fresh mediums on a couple of laps ago. And we do have a safety car for this last bit of the race. We have unfortunately lost the Mercedes of Pizza Dog. He's crashed at the pit lane entry, possibly a little bit too much on the exit as he's come out of it. So we have now lost 3 drivers from this race. What will people be doing here? Will they stay out on some of the tyres that they've already got on, or will they box? Do see 2 drivers currently coming, 5 is currently coming as well. 7 has put the soft tyres on. We do also see Matt, Beef, Mr. G, all of the softs. Possibly the Sour of Tin Man and Adam putting softs on as well, maybe. Yep, they both put them on as well. So a fair few now boxing to put the fresh softs on for these final 6 laps. So while we wait for these drivers to catch up with the safety car and for everyone to build their tyre temps, so the top 5 haven't boxed, they've all stayed out on the hard tyres. Same with the Racing Bull of Shifty Gears has also stayed out on the hards. Couple of interesting calls from some that may have stayed out, but it could pay off for them. with only 4 remaining laps, well, 3.5 remaining laps to go. Safety car potentially coming in at the end of this lap. We will have 3 full racing laps, possibly. And everyone with soft tyres has a very, very good chance to make them worthwhile and take as much as they want out of their tyres and push as hard and as fast as they can for as long as they can. Those on the older tyres are going to have to possibly save them a little bit and make them go the last couple of laps unless they've managed to save a little bit of tyre wear from these last few laps on the safety car. So we have the Ferrari of Anime Boy about to lead us away in a moment when the safety car has gone in fully. So, and he has gone. He is using as much battery as possible to get away from the Alpine of Oliver. Following is Morg. In P4 is McCoy, Zuck, Matt in 6th, Thief in 7th, Tin Man in 8th, Ryan 9th, and the Sauber Tin Man in 10th. 7 has got another time penalty, unfortunately has dropped all the way back to 15th. That safety car didn't exactly pay off very well for them. And we do... Why is that still up? What a load of rubbish. Right, so Anime Boy leads us round for these final few laps. Has got off to a very good start after the safety car is leading us away nicely. Has pulled a half a second gap, which isn't very much at the minute. Oliver has a lot of pace in that Alpine currently on them 15 lap old hard tyres. They are a couple of laps older than Anime Boy, but they do seem to have a lot of pace left. So Thief making them soft tyres worthwhile, gaining a couple of positions so far. He could make it all the way up to the podiums if he can keep this pace up and gain a little bit more. Zuck is close behind but losing a little bit of time at the minute to the Haas driver. Is on much older hard tyres and they are going to be a lot slower compared to a lot of cars around him, unfortunately. We'll need to do everything we can to defend the faster cars behind. We are seeing some overtakes down here at the bottom of or towards the bottom of the grid. Oh, we've had a little bit of contact. Not too sure what's happened there. But we have got a massive DRS train available now. We are seeing 5 cars all battle for the last 2 points positions. We are on the final lap. Oh my god, someone's just being pushed off. What has happened there to Ryan? He's just not sure if he's been pushed off or if he's just lost the rear on the exit of that corner, but that was absolutely gutting for him. But race does go on with 3 drivers here all looking for P9 and P10. Sorry, 4 drivers here all looking for the final 2 points positions. A very, very tense end to the race for these guys. But as we head on to... Oh dear, what has happened there? That is not good. Anime Boy and Oliver come together around the final few corners, and it is going to be a very nervy end to the race. That is a photo finish there. 4 drivers all crossing the line within a few tenths of each other, and that is very, very close end. But we do see plenty of movement after all the time penalties come into it. What a disastrous end for some of these drivers. But 7 and 5s do carry on. There's 2 seconds between them at the minute. As we follow these final 2 drivers round this last part of the race. It has been some interesting moments, some very, very shockingly unexpected moments at times, especially at the end there. 7 has now crossed the line, followed by 5s, and that is the race over. We did lose 3 drivers, unfortunately, from this race. A couple possibly through their own retirements, but I'm not too sure. But overall, a very good race, a very entertaining race for those involved, or at least looked it for the best. The start and the end of that race did look very interesting. But we do see Anime Boy take a second victory of the season for himself and for the Ferrari team. And we also see Logan score a point as well to add to the Ferrari tally. So we see Anime Boy, Oliver and Matt all on the podium here. Oliver will be proud of that result. Bit of a hit and miss end there, but luckily no one DNF'd, and they both kept it on the track just about. So that is the end of our second race of the season here. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll be back for our third race of the season in Austria next week, and until then, thank you and goodbye.